Making Monday. It's me, Jesse, joining us. Let me adjust the camera just a little bit as we kind of pan this way. And I just want to thank you for joining us. A little bit late today. We had a meeting we had to take care of here at 6 o'clock, so kind of interrupted our show. But I wanted to make sure that I brought the show to you today because we have a very important topic to talk about. Very, very, very important. And this is plan 5 of $1 million money-making money strategy and tactic that I've used over the years, and many others that we work with, buyers and sellers who have to buy or want to invest by pulling money out of their properties or 401ks or whatever. We've used this tactic and this concept, these two concepts we're going to talk about. But the reason why I want to talk about it, because a lot of people get a little confused as to the direction they want to go in. And they kind of waffle back and forth and back and forth. And that's a surefire bet and a great way to lose lots of money and not really attain what you want. And that is, of course, to have millions of dollars in assets in real estate. So here on $1 Million Money Making Monday, we're going to talk about what's called short-term versus long-term versus short-term. Two different things that are very, very important here. But the show is always brought to you by the Home Selling Group, your home sold guaranteed, or I'll buy it at 1-844-402-4222, extension 1045. It's a free recorded message. Check it out. Give you some insight of how we can do that. It's very unique and very innovative. You're never caught in a catch-22. And you're always secure the fact that your house is sold. We will give you an offer at the time we start doing business, and that offer will hold true. It'll be a price acceptable to you and a time acceptable to you, and we'll make sure that that happens. Of course, we're going to try to sell your house for more and get you a whole bunch more money, but hey, you always have a good fallback position. Your home sold guaranteed, or I'll buy it. And the show, $1 Million Money Making Monday, is brought to you by the Home Selling Group at www.youravhomesearch.com. Go check them out. So let's jump into this right now, and let's talk about short-term versus long-term. Let me see if I can adjust this light just a little bit so I don't look like, there we go. I don't look like Igor in Frankenstein. You know, in lighting is the most important thing when it comes to being able to present something in the form of TV or video or film. Lighting is probably one of the most important things, if not the most important thing, because lighting is what really sets the mood in that respect. So I do want to turn on our folks at Instagram right here and get them going here. I don't want to forget about them. And so let's just kind of get them going right now here. And we'll bring them in a little bit late, but that's okay. Not to say that our Instagram family is any less important. It really is. In fact, we're starting to grow that Instagram audience. Hey, Instagram family, $1 Million Money Making Monday. Okay, so yeah, we were talking about lighting. Lighting is really important. So, you know, if you shoot from below, that gives an evil, sinister look. If you shoot from high, that gives you a innocent, bubbly, happy-go-lucky look. If you shoot from the right, you got shadows. If you shoot from the left, you got shadows. Or you would be camera right or camera left to you. And so lighting is really important. Okay, so $1 Million Money Making Money. Let's talk about two strategies here. And we're going to blow through this pretty quick. I hope you got your red Sharpie and your yellow pad. Of course, you can pick this up on YouTube live, and it'll be recorded on there automatically for posterity, and also out to Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, Blogger, youravhomesearch.com, the blog site there. It'll be picked up on Pinterest, read it, Gab, some snippets on TikTok. It just kind of across the gamut there. We are negotiating a contract with Hulu or Roku right now, in the process of that, to bring the show live on a cable TV outlet near you. So that'll be really exciting when that happens. That sometimes takes a little time. I've been on Roku and Hulu before for a couple, 2-3 years with the Jesse T show. When I was working in the entertainment business, just not too far long ago. I've kind of retired from it completely, but I've been doing real estate for 40 years. So let's write down here on our yellow pad. Okay, we're going to write down short for short term. Okay, just like that, just short for short term. Okay, that's what we're going to write down. And I'm going to talk a little bit about this. So take some notes, and always remember, like and share, write comments and questions on YouTube. Please hit that notification bell, subscribe, it's free. And we really need to work on our subscribership. I'm really failing in that area. You can go to our Google business site, Google My Business, and give us a rating if you like what you see and hear here on the $1 Million Money Making Monday. Okay. When you start looking at a piece of real estate and you start saying, okay, what do I want to do? Do I want to invest in short term, or do I want to invest in long term? Well, excuse me, short term means that you have a lot of cash to invest. And long terms means that you have cash, but you want to invest that over a prolonged period of time. So short-term thinking is you want to flip the cash. Long-term thinking is you want to keep the cash in the investment, okay? Simple stuff, but oftentimes it's not addressed properly in the buyer's mind. If you're short-term, and we're going to talk about that right now, there's a couple of key things that you have to remember and do. One, you got to understand risk. It's very important. Two, you really have to pay attention to the marketplace. Really, you almost have to become a PhD in stats, marketplace, and an overall kind of guttural feeling that you get. You have to be very observant in terms of other aspects of our financial economy, jobs, types of jobs, professional jobs, white collar, blue collar, these types of jobs, unemployment, income in terms of our income's escalating or de-escalating in the area you're looking at. And you have to really understand observation in terms of trends of the area that you want to invest in a property on the short term. Otherwise, you can just lose your bacon. That's right. I mean, I have seen people not understand this, and they just lose the shirts off their back and shoes on their feet and the bacon on the table. They can lose it fast, and it happens real quick. Okay, you start bleeding and hemorrhaging money, and you can't even do something yet with that property because you might have to fix it up, you might have to rebuild it, you might have to tear it down, you might have to expand it, you may have to do a lot of things. So you may have to get that property free of any legal issues, title issues. Get that property free of maybe some hazardous issues on the property. You never know. It's 1,001 things plus $47 million we can't think about. Okay. So the fourth thing in the short term is that you really have to understand who's going to buy what I'm selling. This is my niche. Who is the buyer? A buyer profile model, like a sculptor would be doing. You have to do like a sculptor would be doing, because you have to really figure out, who property. Really important, okay? Really important. Because if you don't know who's going to buy your property, then how do you know what to do with it, right? You've got to understand that the amount of money you're going to put into a property directly is related to who is going to be able to buy, want, or move into that area. Okay? And when you can understand that, I mean, that has to be really almost the most important thing. And the reason is because you have to sell it. You got to sell it to somebody. And if you don't want to sell it and you just want to keep it, well, then that's okay too. But that then puts you into long term. So, and the last thing you got to look at in terms of the elements of short term is financing. I say last because if you can't satisfactorily understand the first four, then financing is irrelevant, okay? Your financing comes into play when you can understand your plan. Once you've set your plan and you understand it, write it down, then we go looking for the money. You might win the California lottery and have all the money. You wouldn't want to put that money in the bank anyway. But you don't always have to use your own money. OPM, throw some skin in the game. That means throw a little bit of money in the game and have some OPM going on, some other people's money. All right, so that's the elements of short-term financing. Now, if you can understand those 5 elements, then you can hit a home run. All right. Remember, in short-term financing, let's say you find a property. Let me bring this up here. I'm going to bring up a property. I'm going to see if I can figure out how to do this. Okay, let's kind of see if I can bring this up here and put, yeah, there it is. Okay. You see that property right there? You can kind of check it out. So let's make this small. There we go. So you can kind of see my screen here too. So let's see if we can move this over here and see if we can move this one down here. Sorry about all this mishmash on the screen, but that's my desktop. So you just have to kind of deal with it. All right. A lot of stuff, huh? Anyway, so this property is kind of a standard property for short-term financing. Now check it out. This is one of our off-market listings. We just got it. And you've got 3 structures on this property. It's in Pear Blossom, California. And if you're interested in this property, reach out to me at 1-800-684-8699. And then I can kind of get you an appointment to go through this property as it currently is off market. Right now, we have a little window of time in order to be able to market this property. Excuse me 1 second. I'm on the TV. Can you please keep it quiet? Please keep it quiet. Please keep it quiet. Thank you. Sometimes people don't understand when you're doing a show. And you know something? Time out. Please keep it quiet. Thank you. All right. Short term. This is a perfect property for short-term financing. And here's why. It is a property that's only priced at $265,000. Now, that's cool. And I usually don't talk about pricing, but I want to show an example here of a short-term flip. This is short-term investing. You've got three structures here. You have one house by the fence, you have the other house by the telephone pole, and you have the garage right by the cement driveway. What you essentially have here is three structures that you can turn into income producing. The zoning is perfect for this here. All right. The house by the fence already is a 1-bedroom, 1-bath. The house by the telephone pole is a 1-bedroom, 1-bath. The garage, which is bigger than each of the houses, is just a garage. So this is what you would do with this. You would buy this property, but before you buy it, understand all the things we talked about, and then get your financing in straight, and then we would make an offer on this property. And the best offer to make is not a lower priced offer, okay? You want to make as much of a down payment as you possibly can. And here's why. One, you don't want mortgage insurance, okay? That's a lot of money. Two, you want to be able to, when you resell that property, you want to be able to have a mortgage payment low enough just in case you get stuck with it, okay? And you can't, if you have a low down payment, you're going to have a high mortgage payment. And, you know, if the market changes for you, sound hi, Jesse A there, you got us on. If the market changes for you, then you don't want to get caught with your pants down and your shoes untied, right? So you want to put as much money as you possibly can down in case that happens, so you have a mortgage payment low enough so you get a positive cash flow. Make sense? You're really rolling the dice if you put low money down, because now you're really putting all the weight on the fact that the market is going to stay the same or continue to escalate. It probably is. But that word probably can turn into like an open vein bleeding all over the desert floor, okay? A bleed out can happen real quick. So on this particular property, you have two properties that have domiciles and one that's a garage. So this is what I would do. My plan here would be this. I would take the first existing house and I would build a structure onto the back of the house. You see where that patio is, or that raised patio? I would build a structure coming from the apex of that roof straight out and put another bedroom in there, okay? It already has 1 bedroom and 1 bath. I would definitely put another bedroom in there, maybe even 2. They don't have to be huge in this area, because the type of buyer that buys this area or will buy this property is okay with this kind of type of property. Obviously, you know, a billionaire living in Malibu wouldn't be, but somebody that would like to buy this property probably works in this general area, and this is right up their alley. Maybe has a lot of kids, they need the bedrooms. So I would add 2 bedrooms onto here. That doesn't cost that much to do. Now, when you start moving water in, that's when it costs a lot. So I would make sure that the bathroom in this particular house was top notch, okay? And I'd put 2 bedrooms on the back. Now, with that kind of investment in that one property right there by the fence, one of the 3 structures, what's going to happen is you're going to increase the rent. The rent on this particular property is about $800 a month. You're going to $700 to $800 a month. You're going to increase the rent right there alone on that property. You're going to double the rent, at least go to $1,400 or $1,500. Okay, now watch. The 1 bedroom, 1 bath over there by the telephone pole, when you're looking at it, that 1 bedroom, 1 bath is just like a square box. So what I would do there is, you can't really work around a telephone pole too much to move it. Okay. And this is an older property, so they kind of put telephone poles where they wanted to back, a long time ago. But what I would do with this one is I would expand either out to the front or coming off that white door. I would expand this way, and I would put at least one bedroom in there. There's enough room between those two properties that you could put another one bedroom in there, okay, and have a walkway down the middle. Because out front, there's enough space where you could build your parking, a little overhead parking. That would be like a carport. All right, you have to have a covered parking in LA County in order to be able to add on to houses and use the garage, because that garage is supposed to serve both those properties. So I would do that. I would add maybe 1 or 2 bedrooms there as well. You've got enough room to do it. One would be less expensive because you put 2 on there, and the rent on that little unit is about $500 a month. So what I would do there is I would most definitely expand it to the side. All right. They can't do much to you about being far enough away from that telephone pole because they put the telephone pole right in the middle of the freaking yard. So they might, if they make you move the telephone pole, then you expand out front. You go out front with the expansion. Okay. Moving a telephone pole is a lot of money. All right. So now what you would do is with that 2-car garage right there, what you do with that 2-car garage is this. You would take that 2-car garage and you would then, let me just push this button here. All right. You would take that 2-car garage. Instagram is having a hard time staying connected. Okay, you take that 2-car garage now. Oh, by the way, you would increase the rent on that structure by the telephone pole. You would increase that rent, which that rent right now is about $600 a month. You would increase that rent by double, easily. So now you have $1,500 and you have $1,200. You got $2,700 a month coming in. And let's say you put 20% down. So you've got about $50,000 in. Your mortgage payment right there is somewhere in the area of about $900 a month. Mortgage, insurance, about $1,000 a month. So you got a $1,700 a month cash flow. $1,700 a month is 12,000 is $20,000 a year cash flow, positive cash flow. Now you have the 2-car garage. I would take that 2-car garage and I'd put a house in there as well. Okay. And a property in there. It's a little bit bigger, that garage. So that garage was built at a later date. So it's more of a new structure. And then what you would have there is 2 bedrooms, 1 bathroom, a nice kitchen, kind of like an ADU, really nice. Do it really nice. Probably get $1,700 a month there. Let's be gracious and say 15. So if you add 1,500 times 12 months, all right, that would be $16,000. You'd have $36,000 positive cash flow coming in. Now, what is that property worth on a flip? Well, I'll give you the price right now. It's $265. Just buy it. Don't be negotiating. Just buy it. that property at 265 with $36,000 a year coming in, positive cash flow, you're looking at maybe a $10,000, $10,000, 20. You're looking at about a $30,000 to $40,000 investment here. So let's say 300,000. You've got $36,000 a year positive cash flow coming in. You're looking at something that's pushing $400,000. So you're going to make $100,000 on this. And that would be a really great property for an investor to buy. Because even at $400,000, when they put $80,000 down for 20%, their mortgage payment roughly is going to be $20,000 a year. $20,000 a year is about $1,700 a month. So they're going to have $18,000, $19,000 a month a year income, positive cash flow. So if you look at their investment of the purchaser on the other end, who's putting down 20%, and he's receiving almost a 20% return on his investment, that's 100% return on your investment. Not bad. Short term, all this gets done within 6 months. Short term, okay? That would be an example of short term. You're looking to maximize your income, keep your repairs down as low as you possibly can, improve the property, know who your buyers are to start marketing immediately from the day you buy it, secure your financing, and get at it, and flip it, and put $100,000 in your pocket. Not bad. Short-term financing. Okay, so we talked about short-term. Why do you do short-term? Because you want to make money. That's why you do short-term. You don't want to hold. You want to flip. And you're hoping to flip to a bigger property, and a bigger property through a 1031 tax exchange, which then allow you maybe to get into 5, 8, 9, 10 units a couple of years down the road. See? That's why people flip. They also flip because they want to create some extra income. Unfortunately, if you don't live in the property and it's not your home, then you're not going to be able to flip all the time and take the cash out. It has to be a property you live in. So you're going to have to flip 1031 tax exchange into another like and same property. Flip, flip, flip. When you get to your ultimate property that you want, that might be 8, 10 units, okay? Then you refinance and you take that money out, which would have been your profit through those flips as much as you can, and that's tax-free. So there you go. That's a plan and strategy that the home selling group teaches. I gave you just the fine points. Teaches people how to do. All right? $1 Million Money Making Monday is what it's all about. So let's dump this one right now. Let's get rid of this one. And now you see my face in a big way. Let's bring up long-term financing, okay? So let's bring up some long-term financing here on a typical property, okay? So now we wrote short-term, and there's 5 things you need to do, right? So long-term, like this, okay? Long-term, we're going to do this with long-term. Long-term, there's less things you need to do for long-term, but you don't get the payoff or the return as fast, okay? So let's talk about long-term. Why do people do long-term? To retire and have an income coming in, to pay off a property, to have an income coming in, to let equity build up so they can pull money out tax-free to have income, extra income to pay college and stuff like that. To have tax benefits and write-offs over a long term through depreciation and straight tax write-offs and Schedule Cs and Schedule Es. Okay. People do long-term because they want to turn something over as a legacy property to their family, their kids, their wife or husband, a significant other, or whatever. People do long-term because they like Will Rogers said, buy dirt, God don't make it anymore. And they want to have a slice of dirt on this planet Earth paid off, and that's theirs. Even though property is never yours because the county or the city owns the property because of taxes. You don't pay your taxes, they'll take your property in California in 5 years and sell it underneath you. Long-term, why else do people do long-term? They do long-term because they like to hold property, and they may like to manage property and have some management fees in there that they can earn. Okay, these are some of the reasons why people do long-term. It adds to their portfolio of assets and rounds out their assets from 401ks to precious metals to bitcoins to cryptocurrency to real property. It kind of rounds out the assets. Okay, that's why people do long-term. So why and how does long-term work for you in terms of profit? Well, the first thing you got to do when you look at long-term is you got to really assess the overall community. What direction is that community going in? Is it going down into gangland, or is it going up into urbanization, gentrification, new football stadiums, new rail systems, etc.? Is the overall neighborhood going up? Okay, or is the overall neighborhood community going down? And you figure you got about 10 blocks around your property here in Southern California, because about every 10 blocks it changes dramatically. In some areas it's only 5 blocks. This particular property I have on the screen, this is in Los Angeles. This is right by the Soho NFL brand new station and the brand new rail system that they're putting in. Okay. And this property is a terrific property in Los Angeles. All right. And it's an 8-unit building. That unit right there, the one right in front of you that you're looking at straight on, is 8 units. 2 addresses, but 8 units. Continuous. $80,000 a year income that property brings in right now, and all the rents are 25 to 30% low. These are the only 2 buildings left owned by different people that haven't been completely renovated. Though this building has been painted, they've got new windows in, and the gentleman takes care of the property. It's an off-market listing we have in Los Angeles. Now, this particular property generates a tremendous cash flow that can be raised. It can go up because it's low. And after pandemic is all over with, that's what he's going to do. Okay? He's going to raise the income as much as he can. All right, so long-term financing is you would get, once again, as much down as you can. When you invest in this type of property, you have to have a minimum of 25% down. Minimum, okay? And this property is priced in such a way, and you can call and ask me about the price. It's no problem, 1-800-684-8699. It's priced in such a way that you have to put 25% down. You would have to get a jumbo loan. That means that loan costs a little bit more money. You can't live in this property and get a low interest, low down payment loan. The banks won't give you the money unless you go hard money, but it's going to cost you a lot. So in this particular case, you're going to have a little higher loan payment, but in working the mathematics here, he has a positive cash flow. Anybody who buys this at 80,000 has got a little positive cash flow that allows him then to be able to not be upside down. All right. And How do you change value? You improve the property. Nice grass out front. New stucco. New community areas. Clean them up. Lots of light. Secured building. It is. Brand new roofs if it needs it. Each unit needs to be upgraded and painted, and the kitchens need to be redone. Inexpensively, but nice in the bathrooms. One by one by one. This is how you increase the value of this property. All right. And so you would hold this for long term for all those benefits that I talked about. You wouldn't be taking money out. You want the money later on. And the rents increase. Rents never go down. They always go up. Even when the market gets bad, like in 2008, the rents basically just stopped in a neutral position. Then they exploded from 2012 to now. The rents on this building right now are running about $1,500 a month. This building, these units in there, you could rent these units for $2,200 a month. There's lots of upswing here. Okay. All right. So long term is money that's invested for 20 years or more. So you definitely want to get a fixed rate interest. You definitely want to get a loan that doesn't go up. So as your rents go up, you make a steady cash flow. You want to improve the property. You got to put at least 25% down, and you hold the property for 20 years or more. Now, I will tell you, in 20 years, that property, in 20 years, that property you're looking at right there in Los Angeles, in a very nice neighborhood that's going up in value all around. That property right there in 20 years will be worth minimum $5 million. Minimum. I will tell you, you're going to have about a $4 million in equity. It might be worth more. It might be worth $7 million. So is it value right? Or is it value wrong? Long term, it is a gold mine. Two different ways to invest. Short term versus long term. What's better? Only you can make that decision with good counsel and good understanding. And we'd be happy to do that for you. 1-800-684-8699. 1-800-684-8699. $1 Million Money Making Monday just taught you plan 5. 2 ways, short term, long term, on your path to making $1 million or more in asset tax-free equity. Yeah. Hey, go to our website, www.youravhomesearch.com. Our primary area of expertise is the Antelope Valley, but we've been doing this for 40 years. Throughout Southern California, there is not a county I haven't done business in. All right. And we do our own loans too, so we can help you with any refinancing or anything like that. And of course, we are the Wholesaling Group, the place and the only place where we make this promise. Your home sold, guaranteed, or I'll buy it. 1-844-402-4222. ID number 1045. If it don't start right, it don't end right. So let's start right together. Together, everybody achieves more. That's what the team is all about. You and me against the world. See ya.